Welcome to episode 5 of Galan Lithium podcast. My name is JP Vargas de la Vega. I'm the managing director and company founder of Galan Lithium Limited. And with me today we have Jonathan Munighouse. Did I say it right?
That is correct. Very well done.
Thank you. Well, a special event in the market. We have announced that we have got a new tenement. You're in charge of the exploration in Australia, Greenbushes. So without stealing your thunder, please tell us why this tenement is so relevant to Galan now.
It's a great pickup. Thanks for having me. This is first time in a podcast seat, and I haven't been behind a microphone before, so hopefully everybody picks me up well. But this is a great news for us for Galan because we essentially have a new tenement that's even closer to the Greenbushes mine. It's near the structural corridor that where the Greenbushes pegmatite is emplaced. There's a big shear zone called the Donnybrook Bridgetown Shear Zone, and just along that trace is where we have our new tenement.
Well, that's very interesting that given this closeness. And from the Galan point of view, we got it because of that. Now it's been granted. Now we can go into it and explore it. And I think that is very encouraging. Can you tell us a bit more of the setting of, this is not a new tenement. We've been there in the area for a while. And what have we done in geology-wise, and what sort of engagement we have with the local communities and to date?
Sure. It's right adjacent to our pre-existing Greenbushes South project. So this will kind of literally fill in the gaps. Before we had a bit of a bite out of it, and we had this tenement as a pending tenement for several years, as you alluded to, and that was because it was in parts of the state forest, and we needed to put together an environmental management plan, mainly to stop the spread of a type of fungus that is common in the southwest area called Phytophthora. And we were basically going back and forth with the Department of Environment to try to develop an exploration plan that would help mitigate the spread of those funguses, and doing exploration in a responsible way. So we've can build on the previous geologic successes and information that we've had in our Greenbushes South tenement, and this will literally fill in the gap and get us closer to some of the targeting that we have there.
That's great news, John. So for everyone that's been looking at Galan, our aim and remains our main focus to develop the Hombre Muerto West project into development, into production next year. But not many people are aware that we have this tenement in Australia right next door to the best mine in lithium spodumene mine. And if you can describe us what sort of activities we have done in the past in terms of exploration, and what new activities we'll be doing in this new area, and what gets you excited about this in terms of what it could be.
Sure. So in the past, one of the first things that we did in our Greenbushes South tenement, which is, as the name suggests, just south of the Greenbushes mine, is we started with an aerial campaign where we did geophysics. And this essentially provides us some sort of an X-ray to look at the subsurface. And what we really focused on during this aerial campaign, this was in 2022, was magnetics. And so the regional magnetics help show us areas of where the magnetic minerals are. And these are often along faults and sutures and seams. And the pegmatites, which are the rock type that host the spodumene, those look for those conduits. And so we were able to map out these conduits and maps and really show the main trace of that mineralizing fault. I'm going to do the geology hand dance probably a few times here. But these faults are highlighted by these magnetic minerals. So we were able to come up with some targets that we wanted to test, and a lot of these high priority targets that we were looking at were in this new tenement 4889. Around there, but until that thing was done, we also did a lot of soil sampling, and so this is a way. There's not a lot of outcrop in this area. It's a very rainy part of the world, and there's a lot of cover, and so one of the ways that we can try to detect these blind spodumene bearing pegmatites is by looking at the soil samples and seeing how the rocks under below have communicated with the surface through chemistry. So that's another kind of vector that we use to develop these targets. So in addition to the geophysics and some of this soil sampling and drilling, we can have a pretty good idea of what the geology is. And so one thing that we're also looking for is this type of host rock that is at the Greenbushes mine, which is called an amphibolite. This is a metamorphosed type of a greenstone, essentially. And that helps us understand, that's the setting for where the spodumene-bearing pegmatites are in place. And we have a really good control of that already, of where these host rock will be. And so we're excited to now dive in and see what those targets are in this new area.
And we'll be able to access this new area and do exploration on a very low budget to start with, is that?
Yeah, so that's the plan. Always, and especially in these areas where things are environmentally sensitive, we want to start with a low budget and just to see if to kind of ground truth those aerial geophysics I was talking about. So we're planning on doing what's called ground gravity, and it's where you take a small sensor on the ground and you can actually tell the differences in rock density. And so this is a low. Basically, you're hiking through the woods here with a small instrument, place it on the ground, collect some data, and move on to the next spot. And probably along the way, the geologist will be also soil sampling or doing some rock chipping at opportune moments. So, and that way it's very low budget and quite efficient, and we can get data actually really fast from that.
Well, that's very exciting. And also you got a PhD in structural geology, is that correct?
Yeah, it's more kind of a tie between shear zones, and my PhD was actually in shear zones in the Alps of Italy, where I'm looking more at PGE deposits and those types of things. But essentially, I tried to study how melt goes from lower parts of the crust up into the upper part of the crust.
Which is very suitable now to explain why we have potentially at Greenbushes.
Definitely, yeah. So it's a really good continuation of my access as a geologist. And
Well, that's fantastic. And tell us about, you've been with us for a number of years now. Has it been 3, 4?
I think since just around, I came when the COVID wall fell down. I was working previously on contract before that. But yeah.
So you've been fronting a lot of the work that's been happening with the community and so on. And we've been able to access some ground that we've been told that we couldn't do in the past. And what's your view and how we've been able to get there, and what are the next steps for us to maintain these strong relationships in the area with the farmers?
Yeah, so in that region, and especially just south of the Greenbushes mine, within our tenement, there is a lot of landowners there. It's not like some areas where there's one station that you have to deal with one landowner. There's a lot of small parcels. Some are 1,000 hectares, some are less than that. And so it really takes an effort from us to engage with each stakeholder and see what they want and what they would need for an exploration program to go through. And we really, explain to them along the way, and we want to bring them along the way has been my strategy, and being very straightforward and saying, the exploration is always a gamble, but we will try to leave the area better than we left it. And if there isn't a success, we want to take you along for the ride. And so that's what I've been trying to work with the people down there. And there's a lot of really good people, and there's that I've met and had a lot of conversations with people of how geology works, stuff like this, and trying to explain why the geology is so special in this region, and trying to be straightforward with people. And I think a lot of people, if you're honest and straightforward with them, they respect that, and that's been my my take mainly in this project.
And lastly, and just wrapping this up, we got this new granted tenement. We got already historical data that we worked at Greenbushes South. What's your take? What's your view now with after being 4 years in the area? How excited are you that getting to this area could be very relevant geologically to what we're trying
definitely.
to
I think this is one of our best shots and it's really unlocked a big target area for us. This is a really big literal piece of the puzzle. If you look at the map in the announcement, we're starting to complete the puzzle for us. So it's going to be a great area to test and see if the endowment at Greenbushes can really extend south towards our lease.
And just for our viewers, how far away south from the mine?
It's less than 3 kilometers. Yeah, it's as the crow flies. It's just right over the bend.
Yeah, very exciting. Well, thank you, John, and it's good to have you here.
Thanks.
And hopefully, we are coming back with more news to update our viewers and shareholders in the progress that we do in our green bushes as well. So, once again, thanks for your viewing, and until the next one, thank you.